Due to the recent AI boom, there's a new way of creating content and growing your personal brand. And that new way is to leverage a social media AI specialist. But before I can get too deep into what exactly a social media specialist is, or a SMAIS, I have to give you some context. And that context is I want to talk about the four industrial revolutions and what actually led up to this. And so essentially, there have been four major industrial revolutions that have had major impact on humanity and how we got stuff done. Okay, those four revolutions were the first revolution, which was coal in 1765, then it was gas in 1870, then it was electronics and nuclear in 1969, and then it was the most recent one, which was internet and renewable energy in 2000. Okay, and so, for years, there have been many talks and speculations about what the next industrial revolution was going to be and when was it going to happen. What will it be? When will it happen? Well, it's actually happening right now. It's the AI revolution. And so, this is the fifth industrial revolution, and we are living in the very early stages of it right now. And right now, living in the very early stages of the AI boom. And right now, as of now, AI is a big buzzword. Okay, it's kind of like a trend. But if you were to ask people what AI is, they wouldn't be able to provide you with a clear answer. And so, what is AI? But before I get into that, I kind of want to talk about these four revolutions. I kind of talk about there's two sides, two types of people in each one of these revolutions. There was the people that neglected it and underestimated the change that was happening, and there was the people who adapted it and embraced it. Okay, the first types of people, they stayed poor, life got a lot worse for them, and the second people, they became wealthy. And as bad as it is, maybe not even bad, but like the truth is that the gap between the wealthy and the poor just started increasing, and it's basically the people who adapted versus the people who neglected and underestimated it. Okay, and so what is AI? Well, artificial intelligence, or AI, it's a technology that enables computers and machines to simulate human intelligence and problem-solving capabilities. And basically, AI can and will do everything that humans can do, but better and more cheaply. Okay, and this is huge. And so, why should you start using AI as soon as possible, literally right now, in as many aspects? Well, the aspects that you can of, suf- uh, outsource to AI in making sure that there's actually sophisticated AI technology for that aspect of your business. If there is, why should you need to start leveraging it as soon as possible? And the reason for that is, well, there's three reasons. The first reason is financial impact. And so, there's a company called Klarna, and Klarna essentially tested out an AI bot in their customer support department, and the AI bot is essentially doing the work of 700 employees. And the big question is what's going to happen to these employees' jobs. And so the AI assistant is projected to drive a 40 million US dollar profit improvement for Klarna due to the cost savings and improved efficiency. Okay. So it's not just a small trend, it's actually working, and it's making a huge change within huge corporations and companies. And so the whole departments are being replaced by AI because companies are starting to realize that they can get better quality of work for much cheaper. Okay. And the smart companies are adapting. For example, NVIDIA just announced that AI powered healthcare agents that outperform nurses, and they just cost $9 an hour. So these healthcare agents don't sleep, don't rest. They outperform the current nurses. They're smarter than the current nurses. They're more accessible than the current nurses. These companies don't need to onboard. They don't need to train. They don't need to ramp up these current nurses. And they're much cheaper. $9 an hour. Okay. And so, yeah, it's scary. That's all I can say. And so that's the first reason. The first reason is financial impact. It's much cheaper and it brings in a lot more money. The second reason is speed and efficiency. So AI, it's not a physical being with needs and necessities. Well, as of now, who knows? Who knows in the future what's gonna happen? But it doesn't have any needs and necessities, which means that it can be scaled without hitting the constraints of speed and inefficiency. So, for example, if you were to hire a team of cold callers, you would have to onboard them, train them, ramp up every single one of them, wait for them to go through the hundreds, if not thousands of reps until they get decently good at cold calling. And so, the thing about scaling human departments with human workers is you're going to hit constraints of speed since you need to ramp up, onboard, train these people, and inefficiencies because when you onboard someone, they're not necessarily, unless you hire like some sort of veteran, at whatever they're doing, they're not going to be the best in the world at what they're doing. Okay, so they're going to need to go through the learning curve. They're going to need to pay off the ignorance debt of doing tons of reps upon reps upon reps of whatever it is until they actually get good at it. Opposed to AI, now there's an AI cold calling infrastructure trend where you can just buy it and you skip all four of those steps and automatically get access to the equivalent of a fully trained cold calling department that doesn't make any mistakes. You buy this AI content or AI cold calling infrastructure, and it's you know you have a whole team of highly professional trained cold callers just dialing, doing insane volume that human cold callers wouldn't be able to do in a day. So doing the same. I think it's doing like there's a statistic that these AI cold calling departments are doing the same volume in a day. They're doing the volume that these AIs do in a day is the volume that it'll take these humans to do in like a month or something crazy like that. But and so the thing is, Klarna's customers can now resolve queries in less than 2 minutes compared to the previous average of 11 minutes. So it's taken the AI 2 minutes to resolve the customer queries opposed to the humans, which will take 11 minutes. And so that's the thing, speed and efficiency. That's a huge thing. That's a huge reason why these companies are adapting to AI. And so the third reason is quality. And so AI technology does exactly what it's told to do. Humans, on the other hand, have emotions, make mistakes. They're slow. AI comes with none of those problems. And I kind of feel so weird when I'm like kind of talking about this because I feel like I'm some sort of robot who's like anti-human, but that's not the case. I'm specifically saying this from a non-biased, logical standpoint of someone who's running a business trying to make the most amount of profit in an ethical way. And AI is something. It's a new technology. It's a new revolution, and you got to adapt to it if you want to even stay competitive. I mean, it's the truth. And so Larry Summers, who is a former Secretary of the U.S. Treasury, I believe, he said AI will eventually be able to do nearly every human job, from building homes to making medical diagnosis, particularly white collar workers, cognitive labor. And so this could be the biggest thing that has happened in economic history since the Industrial Revolution. And so uh, the crazy thing about AI is everyone thought that the first people that are going to be replaced by AI were, fast food workers, low level labor, just the department store, retail store, restaurant workers. That's not the case. The first that were to get replaced by AI, or that AI could do their work, was the ones that people thought AI would be able to do last. And basically, it's the creative people. So the people who make the drawings, the artists, the graphic designers, the copywriters, even like people who make music, video editors. It's crazy. And so, the people that the people that AI thought was going to replace last, they're actually the ones that are going to get replaced first. And so it's a very unexpected technology, and you don't know what to expect of it. So you have to be cautious with it. And so, for example, AI cold call AI cold callers. They don't stutter. They don't make mistakes. They know exactly what questions to ask. They know exactly what tone to use. They know how to handle objections because they've been fed the data of all the objections that came up in the past. And the more it's a feedback loop. The more data they get trained on, the better they get. Okay. AI labor workers. They don't need to take breaks. They don't need to rest. They don't need to operate expensive machinery since they will be able to do it themselves. The AI's physical form will be the heavy machinery. They know exactly how to navigate and handle situations they were trained on and programmed to handle. And as they encounter more situations, the more data that's going to get fed into them. The feedback loop is just going to keep continuing. And so the creative generative AI, so art to editing, graphic design, etc., it does the work of hundreds of artists in a matter of seconds. Okay, and I'm just trying to get you to understand the speed that this technology operates at. So, for example, I put in a prompt. I told ChatGPT, by the way, this is $20, and what you get for $20 is so insane, super underpriced. And so I said, draw the most beautiful picture ever. I timed it 20 seconds, and 20 seconds, 40 milliseconds later, boom, this is the output. How long do you think it would have taken a human to make this painting? I think it would have took 20 weeks, 20 days. I don't know. I'm not some sort of art enthusiast, but I know it would not take a human 20 seconds. A human would not be able to do this in 20 seconds. So that's the speed of this AI is operating at. So three main reasons: um, financial, speed and efficiency, and quality. So what now? Okay, we kind of established that AI is cheaper, faster, more efficient, and better than humans at performing and executing specific tasks. What do we do about it? Why are we on this earth? I'm just joking, but I don't know about you, but knowing that it is inevitable that AI will take over human jobs, it kind of scares me a bit. And as much as people are optimistic about the future of AI, it's definitely going to come with a lot of challenges. Okay. So, how do we protect ourselves and use it in our favor? Well, since AI is going to get really good really fast, it's going to be able to solve every problem that humans can solve. And goods and services will be replaced with software. And if you don't believe me, take it from the most wealthiest, or one of the most wealthiest people in the world, Elon Musk. He said, with AI and robotics, the cost of goods and services is nothing, and this is coming very fast. And I've seen things coming fast, but not this fast. And Elon actually said, out of all the technologies he's seen rise, he hasn't seen one rise as fast as AI. And you know, another thing that's going to come with AI is that a lot of goods and services are going to become commoditized. Even goods and services that as of now we perceive as highly premium and highly scarce or whatnot, it's going to become a commodity, and it's going to become highly accessible with AI. Since AI Well, with AI, it's going to come with an abundance of goods and services, meaning that a lot of things are going to become commoditized, and meaning that they're going to lose their value and become inflated. Um, so how do you stay in business? Well, there's only, and I've talked about this before, but there's only going to be two types of people, two types of humans that can stay in business especially when the sophistication and advancement of AI reaches new peaks. And the first type of people that are going to stay in business are the people that can solve problems that AI can't solve. And the only people who can solve these problems are established companies with lots of resources at their disposal. And I mean lots, like billions of dollars worth of resources. And an example of this literally happened today. I literally just searched this up and added this in. Microsoft and OpenAI are teaming up, and they plan to build $100 billion supercomputer. Okay, so what are they doing? They're using their billions of dollars worth of resources and capital. They're allocating it to building a technology to solve problems that AI currently cannot solve. Okay, so that's an example of this first one. And in the future, as AI becomes more sophisticated, more advanced, it's going to be very few problems that it can't solve. Okay, and so the second one is people with strong brains. If you're wondering why, well, people want to be associated with the brand, so they buy from it, even if it's not as good as the AI version of the product or service. And so think about it like this: the biggest example is influencers, content creators. Essentially, you have people like Conor McGregor, Mr. Beast, Kim Kardashian, where people have you know basically watch their whole life happen in front of them. So they've seen people start go from zero to hero. And when you see someone, you grow an affection with them, you build rapport with them, you build goodwill with them, which means that when they launch something, you're going to buy it, because it's like a takeoff, or it's like a runway where a plane is going on a runway. You're watching the content, consuming the content, building goodwill with these people, and when this person launches something that you can consume from them, you're going to take off and you're going to buy it. Okay, and the thing is, the longer the runway, the more the plane's going to be able to take off. Okay. And so that's the second type of people that's going to be able to stay in business. The people who can make people have an affection and build goodwill with an audience, and actually create an audience that, resonates with them. And so, unless you have access to billions of dollars worth of resources, you need to start building a personal brand, and you need to do it quickly. And so, when it comes to building a personal brand, you have four options. Okay. And so, what are the four options? Well, the first option is doing it all yourself. Okay. And this is a little visualization of what it takes to actually obtain a large audience and grow your personal brand. The thing that the thing in between your current situation and you having a large audience is creating content. Okay. But when it comes to creating content, there's three phases: the researching phase, the creating phase, and the distributing phase. And there's a bunch of stuff under that, like proven hooks and ideas, finding small things like audios, post times, hashtags, recording the videos, editing the videos, posting it every day, and posting all platforms. And if you're trying to do this all yourself, well, what are the outcomes of that? Okay. So the outcomes of doing this all by yourself is, well, you're researching everything by yourself, you're recording and editing all yourself, you're posting on all platforms by yourself. And I frequently see people that try to do everything themselves. And this is typically how it goes. They research, record, edit, and post all the content by themselves. They get no results and they give up in 2 weeks. Okay. And the reason why this happens is because when you're doing everything by yourself, you're spreading yourself so thin across the entire content creation process, and you end up burning yourself out. So if you're the person who's doing all this by yourself, and on top of that, you're running a business, trying to fulfill your clients, get more clients, do whatever you're doing in your business, This type of work takes hours a day if you actually want it to perform well, perform decent. You need to be putting in hours a day if you actually want to even have a chance to stay competitive, since there's so many content creators nowadays. Okay. And so if you're doing it all by yourself, you're just going to spread yourself so thin, and you're not going to get any results, since if you're spreading yourself thin, you're not putting in a lot of work, you're producing low quality work, and you're going to give up. Okay. And like I said, on top of that, if you're somebody who's running a business, you need to outsource the small, tedious things that can easily be outsourced. So you, the business owner, only needs to be focused on high leverage activities that move the business forward. And spending hours of editing and posting your own videos is not one of those activities. Okay, so high leverage activities is what the entrepreneur, the founder of the business, needs to be focused on. So that's option one, doing it all by yourself. And so, what is option two? Well, option two is you hire an agency to do it for you. And basically, when you're hiring an agency, this is all that's happening. So you're paying an agency thousands of dollars every month, and all this agency is doing for you is they're letting you rent their content department. Okay, you're renting it. So what are the outcomes of this? Well, you're paying thousands of dollars to rent their content department. Once you leave the partnership, once you stop paying them thousands of dollars, you're right back where you started. You're not left with anything tangible. Okay, you're back at square one. And you to find it, especially now in 2024 with Emon, thanks to Emon and the extremely low barrier of entry, finding a decent agency to work with amongst the cesspool of thousands of content agencies that exist is so hard just to find a decent one. So that's a whole process in and of itself. And since it's a done for you agency, the lack of attention from the agency, since you're one of their 17 clients. So they have 17 other clients that they're doing done for you services every month, and they have to allocate their attention to every single one of their clients. You're not going to be happy with the results and the quality, since the agency themselves is spreading themselves so thin across the whole. They're spreading their resources thinly across all their clients. And so that's the second option. You hire an agency to do it for you. And so a commonality they can see with both of these two first two options is that the resources are being spread thin across whatever it is. So this one, it's you're spreading yourself thin across creating all the content and doing everything. The agency is spreading themselves thin across all their clients and doing everything for their clients. And so the third option is to actually have an in-house team that's focused on doing it for you. And so instead of you doing all this, you get an in-house team that just does it all for you. And so what are the outcomes of this? Well, basically an in-house content team, what it looks like, it's a creative director, an editor, and a social media manager. And they take care of the content creation process for you, other than recording, which as of now can't be outsourced, but some crazy stuff has been popping up with AI. AI is coming for all of us. So yeah, and then you also have to deal with managing them. Actually onboarding them and managing them, making sure that they don't churn. That's a huge thing. Also paying thousands per month just to retain them, and you have more time on your hands opposed to if you're just doing it all yourself. So you're essentially buying back your time, which is good. So you can focus on higher leverage activities. But yeah, once again, you have to make sure that they're actually good and produce high quality work that produces results. And that comes down to being good at finding talent, being good at retaining talent, finding A players, and actually making sure that you have the right systems in place to retain them and keep them motivated to produce high quality work. Okay, so that's the third option. You're hiring an in-house team to do it for you. And so the fourth option is to leverage a SMAIS, a social media AI specialist. And if you don't know what a social media AI specialist does, well, it's basically one person that harnesses the power of AI, that leverages AI to cover this whole entire gap of creating content, solving the problems of finding trends, finding good topics and hooks, managing the files, editing the files, copywriting, posting, everything from A to Z. It's one person who guides the AI, who leverages AI to get everything done for you. Okay. And so if you have one person on your team who's leveraging AI, these three principles that we talked about are going to apply to the content creation process. The result of this is going to be cheaper, faster, and more efficient. So instead of hiring three people or paying thousands of dollars per month to an agency who's doing it that outdated way, you have one person who's leveraging AI tools. And the truth is that these AI tools are doing 99% of the work, meaning that the work is going to be higher quality, it's going to get done much quicker, it's going to get done much more efficiently, and you're paying a fraction of the cost that you would be paying, actual people doing the work. But the actual people aren't doing the work in this instance. They're just guiding the AI to do the work for them. Okay. And so higher quality of content is being created and distributed. Okay, and so no resources are being spread thin in this instance, and you're staying on top of AI and you're taking advantage of its benefits. And as AI advances and these tools advance, you're going to be advancing and adapting with it. Like we talked about in these four revolutions and this fifth one, this fifth one that we're living in right now, you need to adapt. Okay, the people that adapt are the only people who have been able to live good lives. So there's the people that adapted and the people who neglected it and underestimated the revolution that was happening. And so if this seems interesting to you and you'd like to learn more about social media AI specialists and AI content departments, what you can go ahead and do is in the description, there's a link to book in a call with me and my team. And essentially all this call is we're going to analyze your situation and see how an AI content department can be used to scale your personal brand. And so thank you for watching this video to the end, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.